All right, we got One Punch Man season 3. What it say? One Punch Man season 3 episode 2 was really good. I'm not gonna hold you. After I saw it, man, it was good, bro. It was very decent. Like I said, I'm gonna give this one here. I saw someone giving it like a 9 out of 10 on what you call it, but me, I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. You know, it was supposed to be more like comedy, so you know, I'm cool with this one right here, bro.
3 episode 2 is definitely much better than episode 1, and I say that considering all aspects and angles. The art direction and compositing is always beautiful, a lot of movements are involved, animation and motion are decent, good pacing with no bad transitions.
The only part that had me laughing is like on Garou neck.
Insanely new season 3 exclusive soundtracks, which is very surprising. Now don't get me wrong, the episode had issues for sure, and in times there were some weird and stiff moments, but we all gotta at least agree that this is a huge improvement compared to the previous episode.
Of course, man, like of course it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be some people that gonna try their best to like find some things, bro. One Punch Man, bro, we already finding them, bro. Like I said, overall, I'm giving it a 8 out of 10. The neck part with Garou, it was funny, bro, to me.
I'm not sure you guys has noticed that most scenes in episode 1 were actually conducted inside some sort of a building, a hideout, or a house. We barely got to see the outside of this world. We only had like 4 shots, like the Hero Association headquarters, Zombie Man conducting his investigation, Fubuki walking towards Saitama's house, and I guess Narinki's outside look of his company. However, in this episode, we got to see how beautifully composited the outside of the One Punch Man world is.
I'm telling you, bro, like, bro, they really did a thing with this, bro, and I loving it.
Especially around the sunset, and it looks
the sunset,
stunning. In the entirety of One Punch Man season 1 and 2, we've seen all kinds of weathers and periods of times. Night, day, sunny, cloudy, and rainy. But we've
see, I saw when it started coming night. That's what I noticed, like, it's getting a little dark out. So I told people, like, we're gonna get the next scene, the next fight, the next episode is gonna be when Garou fight. That's gonna be the fighting scene. This was just like I said. I told them this episode here gonna be like more cool and, you know, a little. It was something else I said. It's gonna be overall, like I said, it's gonna be more cool and funny though.
Never seen it transitioning slowly from day to night.
Yeah, I liking that. I was liking that, bro. I thought I was the only one that caught on to that. I'm like, it changing.
I say they have done a fantastic job in the art and compositing department. Now onto the episode and what it covered. I spoke in my last video about the possibility of removing some irrelevant scenes, like Garou, I guess, poking the civil. See,
I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they kept the part when he put that knife, the pocket knife,
in his forehead and scaring off this.
And I like this part. I like this right here. I'm glad they kept this in, bro. I'm really glad they kept this in right here.
Drunk dude, but to my surprise, they actually included it.
This was dope, bro. This was dope.
Pleasant. We have to get to see the diner scene, and I'm very grateful they at least animated the way Garou is eating his food.
Yeah, they did that, but I wanted him to like have the jaws thing. I really wanted them to do that, but hey, it is what it is, though.
Something that people were actually worried about. The landing of the comedic scenes actually worked with Saitama and Fubuki, so I say this whole diner scene was adapted decently. It's also so funny that Saitama is at the same location as the guy he's trying to find. He literally chased him and had the full
I loved it right here, Brody.
Interaction with him, not knowing this is the hero hunter he's been searching for this whole time. And speaking of that interaction, the animation of Saitama punching away Garou is literally the same as the one in the commercial video. There wasn't any changes or improvements. I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, but it's not that good either. However, the frame of Garou trying to punch Saitama looks slightly off, especially compared to the manga. But you also gotta remember that manga readers have high expectations due to Murata's profound.
See that part. See, that's why I said I lower mine down, because I know like Murata, he is up there, and I guess, you know, it's gonna be some people in the mangas who want it to be like everything just like it. I'm like, bro, y'all gotta put y'all little hopes down a little bit, because we ain't finna get all that tight stuff like that. So that's why I say it is what it is to me.
art. I'm sure a lot of people would try to hyper-analyze this and say he's missing 2 sets of veins in his face, but that detail isn't really the main issue. It's just sometimes the character is off model. Okay, going back to Garu's interaction with Tario, who's the kid he saved before from Death Garaling's attack, I'm not going to continue talking about the good art for this entire video, but pairing that with the right OST made this scene stand out. There were some scenes where Garu kinda looked different, and by different is like, brother, what is this? So in most times the art is faithful, but in less times it's not. Now we gotta talk about the last sequence of episode 2. Royal Ripper trying to attack Garu while he is distracted by scolding Tario. And let's be real now, the animation is so good, so good. The OST is amazing, and on top of that, the sound effects of this season
the sound was really clean, bro.
Are steps ahead of the previous one. The Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist
this right here was dope, bro. Not gonna hold you.
Has never sounded better. You can actually hear the water flowing in both sequences Garu activates the technique. And this is what I talked about in the previous video that was failed by Copium and
Nah, not no Nah.
Hopium comments. This season is packed with fights, and when I say packed, it's an understatement. So they would obviously
they're gonna
resources and clearly not waste them on an episode full of dialogues.
Of course, man. Like, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all know that. All of us One Punch fans, we know this, but it's just the ones that, like, you know, don't know this. So you just gotta give them some time.
Yes, it was a slow start, definitely didn't make an impression, and I'm not saying every fight is going to be beautifully animated, but judging from this really good animated sequence, it's really
like we're gonna have some Jujutsu Kaisen type fighting styles. I mean, fighting movements and stuff, which, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Safe to say that we need to wait much longer to judge the season. But in all honesty, the amount of hype I had watching this was indescribable. One thing I also gotta talk about is the voice acting in this episode. Garu and Royal Ripper, and especially Royal Ripper.
Oh yeah, it was kind of giving me like creepies, man. Like how they would keep hyping up him, bro. How they keep hyping up Ripper, bro. It was giving me low key kind of creepy, bro. Cause the kid was just screaming and crying, like, oh god.
His voice fits his character perfectly. The way he said "it's too late, you're an enemy now" gave me goosebumps with a fitting rock soundtrack.
Oh, I'm telling you, bro. It was so like chill. Like the kid was giving me like goosebumps and little chills, man. I'm like, oh my god, bro. Like, yeah, it's over. GG. Garu, you cook, buddy.
In the background. It really made me much more excited for what's coming. Now, something that I'm completely loving about Season 3 so far that Season 1 and 2 kinda didn't have, which is including the bonus chapters. Bonus chapters are 100% canon. And when not...
I mean, of course, man, but people don't want to accept those. Some people don't want to accept those. If you go into, like, the other side... like power scaling, they ain't gonna accept those.
Watching or reading them, sometimes you miss the full context of some scenes. For example, Sonic in Season 1 mentioned that it was thanks to Puri Puri Prisoner he escaped from prison. But the bonus chapter of that specific volume shows exactly how they escaped. This alongside many things like Saitama training before he became this strong weren't included in Season 1. Season 2 had a different approach, however, as they had some bonus chapters mixed in the episodes, like Glass's backstory and Sweet Mask's concert being raided by some monsters. But would Season 3 include all bonus chapters? I highly doubt it. But stuff like Saitama giving Tario an autograph and Sonic losing 2 kilograms are definitely a great addition. Now, as me and other fellow One Punch Man fans speculated before, we thought they were going to adapt the whole
See, I already told y'all this in the last one, like, we're gonna get this fighting scene in the next episode. So that's what I was saying. That's what I said in my post. Like, we ain't gonna get on the fighting. We're not gonna get this fight scene. That's coming on the next episode. That's on the next episode. So I'm cool with it.
With the explanation of the limiter in this episode. But since they didn't, it left us questioning how can they fit everything until Orochi vs Saitama in the remaining 10 episodes, since the pacing is positively slow and things are not really progressing at a fast rate. Don't get me wrong, that's actually a good thing since they are not rushing things in this season, which
I'm saying that's a good thing too.
Me to go back to a previous video I made and I found out that we're only off by 1 episode. So I'm guessing they can't can still make it to that fight, but only if they pick up the pacing from this episode and on. We also don't know for sure there'll be 12 episodes for this season, so if it's 13 per example, it will be good to deliver a good paced season. Manga spoilers for episode 3. Now, predictions for episode 3, I think they're going to adapt the rest of chapter 88, which is called Limiter. See the entire fight of Royal Ripper and Bug God versus Garou and get the full explanation of the concept of Limiter. And I think the episode is also going to adapt chapter 89.
Yeah, we pretty much gonna see a whole lot of Zombie Man on the next episode.
The cliffhanger being Garou's body evolving, with the last shot being Garou's serious expression. Obviously, a lot of things has happened in this chapter, and I'm not going to mention all of them. So basically, episode 3 will be Aoki's episode, since it technically adapts all things shown in the very first teaser. This highly reminds me of season 2's episode 3, where I think they upped the animation a step further with Tank Top Master versus Garou. So episode 3 is definitely going to be a banger. Now, as I said before, this is much better than episode 1. At least characters can walk and not look weird, right? There were some really questionable scenes for sure, but in an overall spectrum, the pacing was good. I didn't feel overwhelmed by a lot of things happening at the same time like episode 1, where they were taking us from a character to another in different locations. This one focused more on Garou and had a paid off cliffhanger. The episode is not amazing, nor is it trash. The concept of an in-between actually exists. And since, as I said, the next episode is going to be full of Mr. Aoki's sequences, things for now are gonna be much better each episode we progress. Really love the ending and the cliffhanger, and I'm excited.
Yeah, that cliffhanger. Yeah, it had me on the cliffhanger. It really had us on the cliffhanger, but yeah, man, that's crazy though.
For episode 3. If you want to get caught up to everything,
but I like that, bro. Ain't gonna. Hey, that was dope, man. You already know. One Punch Man Anime of the Year, we taking over, baby. You already know.